name is ASSYAAKIRIN binti ASRI with metric number D201910899499.
My name is HALIMATON binti IBRAHIM. My metric number is D201910894989.
Nama saya HASYYATI binti MOHAMAD YAHAYA. Nombor metrik D2019-1089521.
My name is NATASYA binti MUTALIB. My metric number is D201910899522.
My name is NURUL binti Muhammad Sakila. My metric number is D201910895334.
My name is NURUL ADLINA binti NASIR. My metric number is D201910894991.
My name is IZZAH binti TUKIRAN with metric ID D201910895333.
Project background. Agriculture remains an important sector of the Malaysian national economy in the new millennium for the increasing population to provide food supply and sustainable development. So, farmers recommend to use either organic fertilizer or chemical fertilizer in order to maximize either production and minimize the cost of fertilizer. So, this project has chosen RISWAN farmers and Fertilizer farmers as the treatment group who are planting rubber tree and palm oil respectively. Problem statement. As we know, the use of chemical fertilizers can increase soil acidity levels, contribute to groundwater pollution. Plant root can become weak and will put it at risk of contracting disease. And also, the price of chemical fertilizers is more expensive compared to organic fertilizers. Project objective. Our objective for this project is we want to obtain a formula to optimize the use of chemical fertilizers and organic fertilizers in agriculture, especially for oil palm tree and rubber trees, and also to estimate the cost of fertilizer applied according to the size of the crop plant. Significant and benefit. From our research, we can help the farmer to achieve goal to minimize the use of fertilizer for plants growth, and also can assist farmer to use the suitable fertilizer based on the plant's age. As from this research, we can help the farmer to find the minimum nutrient needed by plant, which is nitrogen, phosphate, potassium, magnesium, and boron for palm oil, and nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium in rubber tree. Scope and limitation. This research project will primarily focus on fertilization of oil palm tree and rubber tree in agriculture among the FEDA and RISWAN farmers. The researcher aimed to reduce fertilizer costs by minimizing the use of fertilizer. Literature review. The result of our reading of the previous study found that fertilizer recommendation provided by the technical institutes were expected to guarantee the reach of a high proportion of tapeable tree rapidly. The fact is, large quantity of fertilizers can increase the risk of over-fertilization compared to tree requirement. Generally, nutrient requirement of oil palm different, which depend on target yield, type of planting material, planting density, palm age, soil type, ground cover condition, as well as climate and other environmental factors. And also, application of trees, sewage slugs as amendment to land could account for a large part of the nitrogen and phosphorus requirement for many crops. Next, implementation. As we can see, table 1 show the recommended nutrient intake for palm oil in 1 kg fertilizer. So, from the table, we can construct our general LP model, which is we want to minimize the nutrient intake. So, we get the LP model is minimize Z is equal to summation of Cn xn, where Cn is the cost of fertilizer and Xn is the type of fertilizer and AMN is amount of nutrient type M in fertilizer type N. Next, for table 2, it shows that the recommended nutrient intake for rubber tree. Same as the palm oil tree, from the table, we can generate the general LP model for rubber tree. So, we get the minimized Z equal to summation of Cn xn, where Cn is the cost of fertilizer N, Xn is the type of fertilizer N, and AMN is amount of nutrient type M in fertilizer type N. From our survey that we have run, we can conclude that there are 12 choice of common fertilizer used by farmers, and table 3 show us the common fertilizer used by farmers and the price of the fertilizer per kilogram. For the next step, we choose farmer 31 that planted palm oil to generate the LP model to help farmer to minimize fertilizers price that they use. We just pick one farmers to construct our LP model since different farmers has different type of fertilizer used. Nutritional content of fertilizer used by farmer 31 as shown in table 4 below. From table, we note that the farmer used fertilizer X6, X7, X9 and X12, and from research, we can find the nutritional contents for all fertilizer as shown. Then, from this data, we can construct the LP model for minimizing the cost of fertilizer based on our general LP model that we made early. Note that we don't pick fertilizer X12 since the farmers got the fertilizer for free. From LP model that we have obtained, we can find the optimal solution for palm oil using BM method, and from the table below show the minimization value was found at 7th iteration of simplex method by using BM method. Hence, optimal solution is arrived with value of variable as x1 equal to 0, x2 equal to 0, x3 equal to 10 with minimized z equal to 23.2. Same goes to rubber tree. We choose one of the farmer that plant rubber tree, which is farmer 10. And the fertilizer that the farmer use is X1, X2, X3 and X4. And the nutritional content of fertilizer used by farmer 10 as shown as in table 6. From there, we can construct the LP model for rubber tree. And then, from the LP model, we use the BM method to find the optimal solution for rubber tree. And the table below show the minimization value was found at 6th iteration of simplex method by using BM method. Hence, optimal solution is arrived with value of variable as x1 equal to 0, x2 equal to 10, x3 equal to 0, x4 equal to 0 with minimized z equal to 13.2. We also do sensitivity analysis to determine the another value price so that the solution is remain optimal. The solver for table A and table 9 function include with the Lindo software is then used to solve the LP model for palm oil and rubber tree. From table 8, we know the range price per kilogram for palm oil whenever the variable X1 or X2 or X3 is changed whenever the another variable is remain unchanged. Where for table 9, it shows the range price per kilogram for rubber tree when the X1 or X2 or X3 or X4 is changed whenever the another variable is remain unchanged. If farmer want to keep the existing solution optimal, they can only modify the price of each fertilizer within this range as shown in table 8 and 9. Otherwise, the current solution will become obsolete. Other than that, we also find the visible range of availability amount for palm oil, which is we can see it in table 10. And table 11 show the feasibility range of availability amount for rubber tree. If farmer want to keep the existing solution optimal, they can only modify the amount of each fertilizer within this range as shown in table 10 and 11. Otherwise, the current solution will become obsolete. Result and discussion. We use Excel solver to solve the LP model for palm oil and rubber tree. If you remember, we already construct our LP model for palm oil and rubber tree using the data of farmer 31 and 10 respectively. And figure 1 shows us the Excel display showing the solution for LP model for oil palm tree. And figure 2 shows the Excel display showing the solution for LP model for rubber tree. The solver is designed to solve linear programming problem by using simplex method. The value of X will be determined using this solver in such a way that all the requirements are satisfied and Z is minimized. Microsoft Excel solver is used to calculate fertilizer based on survey response provided by farmers. And this is the following 9 of cheapest fertilizer discovered. If all fertilizer are considered in LP model, a type of fertilizer for rubber tree is very cheapest compared to palm tree. Since they are registered under Rubber Industry Smallholder Development Authority RISWAN program, the smallholder receive assistance in the form of cash, items such as seed, fertilizer and advice. Therefore, there is no problem for them in order to buy fertilizing from RISWAN since they got some discount from this organization. We also conducting sensitivity analysis that provide a number of benefits for decision makers by using Lindo. By referring table 8 and table 9, allowable increase in price of fertilizer is the maximum value, while minimum value is allowable decrease price of fertilizer. MPOB F1 have been the most reasonable price since the current price are RM 2.32, the cheap one than the others. If the farmer want to remain their budget on planting, they can only forecast their budget on fertilizer within the range because we do not know when economic climate change that can affect their plantation. Table 10 and table 11 show the visibility range of availability amount of nutrient in fertilizer for palm oil and rubber tree respectively. The range of feasibility for the ingredient in fertilizer give the limits on the right hand side value for amount of nutrient needed, such that these 5 constraints continue to determine the optimal point. Note that in the range of feasibility, the value of variable in the optimal solution and the objective function value do change, but the shadow price that do not change. Conclusion. It is very important to select a good choice of fertilizer that contain all of necessary nutritional requirement with a low cost and give a high production of palm oil and rubber tree. Therefore, we aim for various types of the fertilizer use the content of nitrogen, phosphate, potassium, magnesium and boron in palm oil and nitrogen, phosphate and potassium in rubber tree by considering other things as well such as price and quantity of production. As for fertilizers, fertilizer for rubber tree is very cheaper compared to the palm tree since farmer for rubber tree use chemical fertilizer. Farmer for palm tree use chemical, organic and few farmers use meat fertilizer. As a result, the cost of using palm fertilizer is very low, medium and expensive for farmers. Since there is some farmers use the incorrect fertilizer, it is difficult to meet all of the necessary nutritional requirement at a low cost. That is why this LP model will calculate to find the minimum Z based on the data that collected from farmers that involved in palm oil and rubber tree plantation. Lastly is reference. This is our reference in order to complete our research project. That's all for me. Thank you.